All of the oxygen we've seen so far have had two single bonds. So like, for example, a single bond to the hydrogen for the hydroxyl and connected to the carbon on the other side, that made the alcohol. On the other hand, if oxygen was connected to two separate carbons, that made the ether. Well, you don't have to have the oxygen connected to two separate carbons. You can put them both on the same carbon. So this introduces what's called a ketone. And a ketone is a carbon-oxygen double bond. Now, carbon-oxygen double bonds in organic chemistry are called carbonyls, and they're a really cool source of energy for organic chemicals. And you'll talk a lot more about carbonyls in the compound. So in this particular section, if your carbonyl, that C double bond O, has carbons on both sides of it, that's what creates a ketone. So in the lower left-hand corner, the carbonyl is that thing right there. It's a carbon-oxygen double bond. And to the left and the right, you have methyl groups, CH3. So it's a methyl group, a carbonyl, and a methyl group. But important for us right now, the carbonyl has carbons on both sides of it. That's what a ketone is. So to name a ketone, count up the total number of carbons, including the carbonyl carbon. So in this case, that would be 3 carbons. As an alkane, that would be propane. But since this is a ketone, we're going to call it propanone. Propanone is the name of that compound. And in the upper right-hand corner, if you count up the carbons, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for the methyl, 2 for the carbonyl, 3 the line, 4 that methyl, 4 carbons, butane becomes butanone. The last 2 you need a number because you could have a 2-pentanone or a 3-pentanone. Nothing you can't handle. However, propanone deserves some comment. Propanone is actually known as acetone, and we've used this in lab several times. Acetone is a great way to make wet surfaces dry. It's also used to remove fingernail polish and lots of other kinds of uses. Acetone, again, is the common name. Propanone is the more serious chemistry name. Both names are great. You now know that they're ketones. Aldehydes have a carbonyl as well, but aldehydes are different from ketones because on at least one side of the ketone, you have a hydrogen. And for reasons which I cannot go into right now, but you will in organic chemistry, having that hydrogen there affects the reactivity in a huge way. So if you have a hydrogen connected to the carbonyl, that's what an aldehyde is. So an aldehyde will have a hydrogen on one side of the carbonyl. The other side could be a second hydrogen, like in the lower left, or it could be an alkyl group, doesn't matter. But anyway, aldehydes are different reactivities, which is crazy. Now, aldehydes have Al, and that's the name you want to give to the aldehyde. So you name it like it's an alkane, take the E off and add Al, or you can do what I do up there in the description. It's an alkyl group without the YL, and you add ANAL off to it. Anyway, so butane becomes butanal, and ethane becomes ethanal in the lower right-hand corner. Ethanal is also known as acetaldehyde. That's something you'll hear about later. But anyway, methanal is the simplest one. It's a carbonyl with hydrogens not on just one side, but both sides, which is totally fine. Methanal has a more common name too, formaldehyde. Down in the funeral services area of Mountain Community College, they use a lot of formaldehyde. Formalin is formaldehyde in water. That's the little compound right there. It's a great preservative of things, stuff like that. So let's name this compound right here, all right? And as you can see, this compound has 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons, so it would be like a butane. However, it has a carbonyl, a carbon-oxygen double bond. So if it has a carbonyl, it's going to be an aldehyde or a ketone. And to make that decision, the carbonyl, the carbon-oxygen double bond, does not have a hydrogen next to it. That carbonyl has a CH3, a carbon on the left, and a CH2, CH3, another carbon to the right. So if there's carbons on both sides of the carbonyl, it's a ketone, and a 4-carbon ketone would be called butanone. So this answer for this molecule would be butanone. If it was butanal, it would have a carbon-oxygen double bond on the N carbon, and there would be a single hydrogen connected to it. But this carbonyl has carbons on both sides. It's a ketone. A carboxylic acid also has a carbonyl, a carbon-oxygen double bond, but instead of having a hydrogen like the aldehydes do, it has a hydroxyl group, an OH. So these have C double bond O OH groups on the very end. And this is a real reactive little area for things. All of the carboxylic acids are weak acids, and they have reactivities which are very, very similar to each other. So here are just some examples of these different things. To name them, like in the lower left-hand corner, count up the total number of carbons. So this one has 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3. Propyl would be the alkyl group's name, but you take the YL off and you add anoic acid. This would be propanoic acid, all right? And if there are 6 carbons, like there are right here, that would be hexanoic acid, methanoic acid, which is also known as formic acid, by the way. You can have different groups. Now, the carboxylic acid is always going to be carbon number 1. So you always want to start with number 1 right there. So in the lower right-hand corner, the carbon with the carbonyl is number 1. The methyl group is off the second carbon. That's why it's 2-methyl-butanoic acid, stuff like that. Acetic acid is probably the most common carboxylic acid. Acetic acid is the active ingredient in vinegar. And acetic acid, which is officially ethanoic acid, if you call it by its official name, very, very common. We've been talking about CH3C double bond OOH for a long time. Benzoic acid is another popular carboxylic acid. It's a benzene ring with a C double bond OOH. And even aspirin has a carboxylic acid group on the end of it. Right up here is a C double bond OOH group, and that's why it's considered a carboxylic acid. It has another functional group right here. This is a C double bond O with carbons on both sides. That's another group. I'm not even going to introduce it right now, but just realize there's a lot of things to do in organic chemistry. No problem. But anyway, carboxylic acids are all weak acids. They're almost always in the foods and drinks we consume. So breads and fruits and wines, almost everything we eat is slightly acidic. Not too acidic, but a little bit acidic, thanks to the carboxylic acids. So let's say we wanted to name this compound. I would start by counting the number of carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. That would be pentane if it was an alkane. But this is certainly not an alkane. We have more than just CH bonds. This has a C double bond O OH on the end right there. And that makes it a carboxylic acid. So 5 carbons pentane as a carboxylic acid, it gets an oic acid ending. This will be pentanoic acid. You don't need a number for carboxylic acids. Number 1 is always the carboxylic acid. It's the more exciting part of the molecule for chemists. All the other carbons are more boring, but this is how that rolls. An ester is a group I will not ever ask you a question on how to name it, but I really want to introduce it because on a quiz, I thought ester and ether were the same. Not even close. Ethers are carbons with an oxygen in the middle and another carbon on the other end. An ester is a carbonyl, C double bond O, with an oxygen, and there's an alkyl group on both sides of it. So you can see in the lower left right there, we have an ethyl group on the right, and then the 4 group on the 5 carbons on the left would be a pentyl group. So to name these crazy things, the smaller one is listed first, and the longer one gets an O8 ending like that. So that would be ethyl pentanoate. And in the upper right-hand corner, the methyl group is smaller, so methyl first, ethanoate, etc., etc. You don't have to name these, but if you see the O8 ending or you hear ester, just realize this is a whole separate family. And there's a lot of really neat things you can do with esters, but I'm going to let you wait until organic chemistry to really figure out how these all run.